Hey guys, I'm not sure if I introduced the car or not, but we're working on the 67 Shelby GT350 tribute car. Did I mention 67? It's hot, so my mind's a little blank. But here we go. This is a car I been building for some while, and we're building a GT350 tribute car out of it. And this has gone through a lot of transformation, and it's time that we start doing the rewiring of the car. I got it all running, but I've been fighting wire gremlins, and being that I do auto wiring, I think it's time that I start doing it. So we're going to rewire this, but we need to, I'm going to take a lot of this stuff off, the Monte Carlo bar, the blower hat. Yes, I did say blower. It's got a Vortex supercharger on it. It's a 351 Windsor. I'm going to take all this apart. I'm also thinking about knocking some of the shine off this as well, because I'm not going to polish this thing all the time, and I just rather maybe have it maybe Ford blue or whatever's accurate for this. Be a lot easier to keep clean. I know it's not as exciting, but it's just the route I'm going to go. So we're going to start taking all this apart. I am going to show off the GoPro for this part of the time, because I'm going to be setting myself up for everything as well as I'm going, and then we'll start getting into more video when me working on it. Probably set it up on the roof or something and time lapse it or something. But right now, this is what we're doing. So like I said, we're going to take the Monte Carlo bar off, blower hat, these tubes, fender brace, strut brace, battery, all the, yeah, just removing everything. So we're going to get started. All right, so we're back. Took a lot, but I keep saying we, that's me. Team me. I got all the factory wiring out of the car. The wiring that you see here is from the Phytech. I didn't unbolt and pull that off yet. Obviously, I need to get some fuel line caps, because I want to cap off the fuel system so it doesn't stink in the garage too much. I found that because the car sat a while, I got some sludge going on. I pulled the hose off and puked all over the front of the motor. That's glorious. We are going to flush the whole cooling system out, and then I am going to paint the radiator the correct satin black that it should be. This way it's not so eye-popping. I'm also going to change the engine color to the correct blue. Haven't decided on the color for the intake manifold yet, but I am not sold on having the polished. I just want to knock some of the bling out of this and kind of have it look a little bit more accurate, we'll say. So that's where we're at right now. I am going to be taking the front of the nose cone of the car off, and then the probably remove the fenders as well, because I'm deciding about the wiring. I'm not sure if I want to run the wires as such the way they did, or actually have them run in the fender apron, you know, obviously with some type of protection, and have it come out from the fender apron to where it needs to go. Because one thing that really bothers me on the Mustangs is when you have the wires come out and then you have this big hump here. You know, it's just, I don't like the way it looks. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I may just try to run some of the wiring up the motor and over. I haven't figured that out yet. Everything's empty under here. There is some wires left that you can see in the picturing, but it's from the column and then the wiper motor, and some stuff from the factory heating system. I am going to be taking all that stuff out from under the dashboard as well. I think the future holds I'm going to put a vintage air system in it. This way the car is more livable year-round. And if I want to travel with this thing a little bit, we'll see. I always say that, but then the car sits. So we will get back into some more updates. I will this is really not much of the fun part, and it just takes a lot of time, and didn't want to bore you with it all, but here we are. Hey guys, we're back, and we are in the cross country garage Arizona kitchen doing some electrical work. Why are we in the kitchen? Because it's 110 degrees outside. So yeah, right, Diesel? He agrees. He thinks it's way too hot. So anyway, we're this is a continuance on the 67 Mustang wiring, and so I got the gauge cluster out, and I've been working on it. The car is being set up as a Shelby GT350, not an Eleanor, GT350 Shelby. So one of the things I changed is the speedometer. The stock ones are 120. This is 140 mile an hour, which is correct. And it says 0 miles. That'll be pretty cool, because we're kind of starting fresh. Over here, we got nothing here right now. But I do have the 8,000 RPM tachometer on order, and should be here in a few days. We are putting a clock in here, and that is correct. One of the things is not correct to the car, but I do like a boost gauge. We do have the Vortex supercharger, so I fit a autometer gauge in there. And what I did was, what was pretty neat is this is the stock lens that goes in here, which has this button that is normally on there. So what I did to get the button off is, because they have it kind of fused in there, I took a small torch for you know, doing the torches that you use for shrink wrap, doing the little shrink wrap. I heated up my test light probe, and I went from the back side, just melted in, and it popped it right off. And then I got rid of the mounting peg on the back, and I epoxied it on there. This way it looks the part with the rest of them, because prior to that it stuck out. So that's how we did that. The back side, I started doing the wiring. I don't have the wiring harness here. It's in another box, but it's like this thick of wires. It's just, I don't get it. You could streamline all this stuff so much better, and that's what I did. And this is where the boost gauge went. I had to cut the back of the casing a little bit for the light, and then for the tubing that goes to the intake manifold, and then for the pegs. So I just buzzed them out, got that in there, clocked it right, tightened it down. I'll probably remove these tabs, maybe, if I'm not lazy. If they don't hit anything, I might just leave them like that. Who knows? So on this side is where the tachometer is going to install. We'll probably do our next video on that. And then I'm building a plug here, which was part of one of my Rebel wire harnesses that I had for my Mercury. I didn't use the dash plug because there was no reason, because the dash really doesn't come apart much on that, and why have a why have a clip for it, you know what I mean? It's less stuff, you know. This comes out, so this makes sense to use it. So I got this. Now now that I got this covered, excuse my close-up here. The next thing I was trying to work with is the wiper switch. So what I did was I opened up the harness, the factory harness, and I got everything out that connects to this, which it goes in two different directions. One of them goes to the wiper motor, and then there's that on the other side of the driver's side kick panel by that pump pedal for the washer bottle. I'm not sure. I have to go back into the car and see what is what with that plug. But what I did was I found that this big fat wire that looks like black with a green stripe is the power wire for it, and then there's other which leads to an orange wire which goes to the switch. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow, maybe after work, I'm going to roll the car out, get this plugged in, and see if I can make everything work standalone from the harness. And then I'll figure out wiring this up with all new wires. And if I could make it less wiring, then that would be great too. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Doesn't really matter. It's not that many wires. But I would like to, if I did live in a rainy state, I would like to go with the wipers that have the delay. That's a whole nother kit that they have, but I was thinking about adding that, but I looked at it, it was $80 price tag for that part, and it barely rains here, so it really doesn't matter. So here's the light switch. I got this all figured out, what wires go where. I made a schematic which is buried in here, and so I'll know how to wire this all up pretty well without going through the schematic. It's, you know, I will do another video and show you my schematics, and then also the key switch. I had to mess with this tumbler a few different times to be able to get it back in and out. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but once I got everything lined up, it's working. So it's just the beginnings of the rewiring of this car. The next video will be a little bit more detail oriented, and we'll start getting into the meat and potatoes of this. But stick around, there's more to come with the car. More stuff to add on to it. You know, we have the Shelby roll bar, and some other stuff to go along with this as well for the conversion. So pretty insane car, a lot of fun, and it's been sitting too long, so we gotta get back into this thing. Catch us on the next video. Like, share, and subscribe.